Saturday. Got my tickets, how about you? Oh man. Listen guys, I am the mother of 3 incredible entrepreneurial kids. I am the wife of one strong, compassionate man, and I am the grandma of 3 kids who worship the ground I walk on. Grandparenting is the best. I grew up on a really large dairy farm. We worked our little tails off as kids. Many of you who grew up on dairy farms know what I'm talking about. It's not an easy life, is it? It's a tough life. But I'll tell you, it comes with some great lessons, doesn't it? And I embrace those great lessons. Lessons like courage and strength and perseverance. And when I wake up in the morning and my feet hit the floor, I'm ready to take it on and conquer my day. And I don't go to bed at night until I'm done with my day. I've carried that into my adult life. People who get strength from their childhood, you may think at the time tough stuff isn't good. Learn to embrace it. Learn to embrace that story, because that is what will make you who you will be in the future. At 18 years old, I had a tragic event happen. Some of you know that my boyfriend of almost 3 years was killed in a motorcycle accident 2 nights before we were going to leave for college together. It was the toughest thing I had ever faced in my life. So anything up until then became nothing at that moment. On Wednesday, it was his funeral, and I was faced with another tough decision. Do I go away to college and start a career in an unknown place with unknown people doing something I have no clue what it's going to be like? Or do I stay back and just grieve and mourn and be sad and be depressed? I decided I was going to go after it, and I started college the day of his funeral. My junior year in college, I decided to go overseas. I started to come out of my shell a little bit. I jumped out of a plane. I lived. I crashed, but I lived. And I met my husband of this day. 32 years later, we are still together. My junior year in college. Now, I graduated with a comprehensive major with honors in communications, public relations, and psychology. Now, let's just take a look at that for 1 second, right? I thought if I could work within the communications of an organization, doing public speaking of some sort, and working on the psyche of human beings, that would be the ultimate career. It turned out pretty good. Turned out pretty good. Now, I'd like to say we lived happily ever after, and that's the end of the story, but here's where the story gets real. Here's where you start to pull up your bootstraps and figure out the life you had, how that led to the person you become. I had a battlefield in my mind. I had a voice that said, you can be anything you want to be, just like your mom told you. You can do anything you want to do. You have overcome everything in your life, and you're going to continue on that path. And then I had that voice that said, these people are better than you. You're just not as good as them. You don't match. You don't fit in. And it would knock me back down, and I would find myself in places of complacency. And I'm telling you, that battlefield that went in my mind got me to the point that I made a decision. I can't heal my life. I have got to take an introspective look on what the hell is going on in my mind that is holding me back in this life when I know I'm capable of more than what I'm doing. I ended up figuring out how to start to heal the internal part of myself. At that time, I was working in my career, working and managing facilities for people with developmental disabilities. What an incredible, fulfilling career. But what awful pay and what unbelievable hours. 60 plus hours I was working, 60 plus hours my husband is working. We have a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old, and we've got nothing to show for it. We can't make ends meet. We're digging credit card debt deeper. We owe on our house, we owe on our car, we owe on our loans. Our credit card interest was through the roof. What are we gonna do? Now, I had a background and a love for health and nutrition. So this guy who was a supervisor at my job decided to introduce me to this company that had this great Isotonix line. So I became a customer of the Isotonix. I can tell you, I overcame pain. I found balance again. I felt grounded again. I continued working and learning and feeding myself. We have got to grow ourselves. We spend our whole life trying to fix the external stuff. I can tell you how to do trial size marketing. I can tell you how to approach people, how to set appointments, how to do call workshops. I could talk all day. But if you don't have the internal being right, you are not going to follow through on it. So I got to the point that I went and met this guy. Some of you know Mr. Jim Winkler, right? Now, Jim and I go way back. 21 years I've been with this company. We go way back. In fact, Jim was the first one I seriously sat down with and listened to this business plan. And it wasn't because I was looking. In fact, I was there because I wanted to tell this guy he was an idiot because he was going to sign up in this thing. So I listened to Jim. We get done. I meet with Jim, and I said, Jim, I'm scared, I'm skeptical. We have absolutely no money. My husband is struggling with alcoholism. There's a lot of personal stuff happening in our household right now. The stress is beyond my belief. We have 2 babies at home. I got nothing. Please tell me that you are not taking me down a bad path, because if you are, I'm going to have to kill you. So I threatened Jim Winkler's life the first night I met him. I'm proud to say he's still alive today. He's still alive today. But listen, that was the beginning. That was the beginning of somebody who believed in me. My mom always told me I could be Miss Universe. I could be anything. I knew my mom believed in me. I knew my dad taught me so many great things. But Jim, you believed in me. You pushed me when I didn't want to be pushed. Jim called me to be on call workshops. Call workshops? Who the hell wants to make phone calls in front of other people? I'm like, I'm not doing that weird thing. Next thing you know, I'm holding call workshops, right? And then he calls me to be part of an accountability group. Shelley, we're gonna have this accountability group. You're gonna turn in your numbers. I'm gonna chart it. You know, everybody's gonna see what everybody, I don't wanna be held accountable. I don't want people seeing what I'm doing. I end up becoming probably the most competitive person. Wait till you see my sheet this week. I hit master and franchise owner, shopping annuity master member, half activated somebody, had a personal sponsorship all this week, Jim. All this week. And hit the local challenge. I will not slow down. I have a maximum mindset. What does that mean, a maximum mindset? It means that I've decided I will not live by fear. I will live by desire. It needs to be put in its place. Slight edge. I have the slight edge. Why? Because I've decided who I am. I have set my standard. I know what my identity is, and I'm going to reach for it by setting daily ritualistic habits that will help me reach that goal. That is what I'm talking about. I will do 10 times what the average person is willing to do. You tell me you can hit master and franchise owner once a year, shopping annuity member once a year. I will hit it every quarter. And in fact, shopping annuity, I've hit it every single quarter since the inception of the program. I've only missed master and franchise owner twice since the inception of the program. I don't negotiate on these things. Why? Because this is my identity. It is the standard I've set for myself. I will buy 10 times the tickets because I'm going to bring 10 times the people. Do you hear what I'm saying? Winners get it done. We have to stop listening to the voice here, and we have got to start truly hearing what people are saying to us. I am statements. I'm courageous. I am strong. I'm an overcomer. I'm an achiever. I'm a people magnet. I am successful. I am a badass woman, right? Yeah. We have got to break the habit of ourselves. We have got to break the habit of ourselves. You are the only thing keeping you where you're at. I was complacent at supervising coordinator for nearly 8 years. My husband's life went on a downward spiral from 2008 to 2011. We fought through an unbelievable alcohol addiction. In 2011, he was put in jail for his 5th offense. My 17-year-old daughter wrote me a letter telling me she was going to have a baby. And you know what I said? That's all you got? Bring it on. Bring it on. That is nothing compared to what I have lived through, what I've overcome. We've all been there before. Anything you've done in your life, you've overcome it and you will overcome it again. Raise your standard of self. Be the person you know you can be. And stop thinking that it's okay to wait until you feel like it. Newsflash, you will never, ever, ever feel like it. You've got to wake up and hit the floor, and you have to decide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take action.